Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome to my second Q&A video. This video was definitely a little late. I ended up going away for a bunch of days and I ended up hitting Fan Expo, which was awesome by the way, and I do have a bunch of pictures I would like to show you guys before we hop into the Q&A. So here is a DJ Sona cosplay, and you can't really get the whole sense of how amazing it was from this picture. She obviously had that big board that she kind of carries around. It was playing the music, all sorts of different lights. It was pretty friggin' cool. Then there was this Jace here, a really well-made costume, and really stood out in the crowd. Then there was this Nidalee, and my cousin actually got his picture taken with her. Great costume. The spear that you can't really see in the picture here at the top was like, spinning around. Looked really cool as well. Last but not least, Tempest Janna, really well made as well. The contacts actually pulled it really well together. Lots and lots of cool costumes. For anybody that is around the Toronto area, I'd recommend going to the next Fan Expo. There was tons and tons of cool stuff to check out. So if you're around Toronto, like I said, check it out next year. So now, let's hop into all of those questions I got in the last Q&A. So first up is Notice Me Senpai Please wondering who the best AD carry is at the moment. So, I really like a lot of the AD carries out there, so this is a little hard to answer, but if I had to choose one, I would probably say Jinx. With her passive attack speed and the way rockets work when you have a Runans, she's just a really fantastic champion and can easily hyper carry games. Now, Adnan Rahman would like to know the best build for Jack's top and jungle. As for the jungle build, I'd always take a Devourer and then pretty much always go into a Trinity Force and then a Hextech Gunblade. This will do an absolute ton of damage and it'll be pretty hard to itemize against you since you will have a nice solid amount of AD and AP. As for the top lane build, I'd of course still take that Trinity Force and Hextech Gunblade, but instead of course, the jungler item, we would take something like a Randuin's or a Sterak's Gauge. This would depend on if you were against an AD or AP top laner. So, now Hindset would like to know if I enjoy watching anime, and if I do, what is my favorite? As for watching anime, yes, I do watch a bunch of anime. I'm not, super into it like a lot of people out there, but, I do enjoy it, of course. As for favorites, I'd probably have to say Bleach, because I watched literally into the 300th and some odd episode. I watched that a lot when I was younger. Of course, there's Sword Art Online as well, probably my favorite overall, considering I have played a lot of MMOs, and this kind of appeals to that gamer side of me. And then, of course, there's Attack on Titan, a fantastic anime as well, and other things like Death Note. There's a lot of different series that I've watched. So now there is a ton of questions about face reveals. Emin Kadrick and Bono Esselink asking about a 10k face reveal. We're at 10k now, by the way, and I haven't done one yet, so not quite, guys. Then Lucas Merrick inquiring about it as well, but also letting me know that I have a sexy voice that gives him a boner every time he hears it. And Hindset also inquiring about the same thing, but also wondering how handsome and sexy am I exactly. So thank you for all those wonderful comments, by the way. But as for the face reveal, not quite yet, so no, it's not going to be like the 10k, but of course, obviously at some point, I'm going to do a face reveal. As of right now, I have no idea when exactly, what threshold I'm going to hit to do that. I don't mind showing my face or anything, but I do kind of, want to make it a little bit of a big deal, I suppose, not waiting for 1 million that guy, Night Blue 3, wow. But yeah, thank you for the comment of my really nice voice. I think it sounds kind of mediocre, but yeah, thanks for that. As for the handsome/cuteness, it's rather high. The sexiness is at a pretty decent level, and one day you will see this. Slash and sarcasm, but not seriously. So now we've got some questions inquiring about gameplay. First, there's Adnan Rahman asking why I don't make champion gameplays. Then Jose Carlos asking if the gameplay footage in the background is actually me. Veron2 asking where I get the gameplay of my guides. And Andreas Sondergaard asking if I consider making videos where I actually play the game. So, first thing of course to say is this footage is almost always me. I do have a bunch of friends in high elo as well that do send me gameplays from time to time for me to commentate on top of that I do use for some of the guides. As for making champion gameplays, I did intend on streaming when I did start this channel, so, this is kind of how I wanted to do my guides, and then I'd also have the gameplays to kind of go with that. Of course, though, I have not started streaming yet, basically because my computer is not that good. It's pretty horrible, but I will start streaming soon, and if I can't really make that work, then of course I'll start making some gameplay videos as well. Now, Hindset would like to know my age. So I turned 28 literally today. September 7th is when I'm recording this, and my birthday is September 7th. When you're watching this, it may be September 8th, or it already could be while I'm doing this, depending on where you're from, but yeah, I am now 28. I'm also kind of curious, do I sound younger, or that age, or perhaps older? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Just kind of curious. Kythro would then like to know what I think of Akali right now in the current meta. So Akali, in my opinion, is a very strong champion, but she's definitely not as useful in the higher elos. I'd say bronze to gold, she can really pub stomp because people aren't really carrying around sweepers and pink wards, or at least using them as effectively as they could be. As you get into the higher elos, there will be a lot more stealth reveals chosen against you, and you're not going to be as effective as you could have been. So now there is Carpet Bottle wondering what I think of Jhin. Now, even though Jhin has received a couple nerfs recently, I would still put him in the top 5 AD carries. I'd probably say stuff like Jinx and Ashe are stronger champions, but Jhin can easily hold his own and he fits really well into long-range poke comps. Now, Razy2003 would like to know what I think of Cedd and if he is meta. So if these were meta, Cedd would fit right in. I wish Cedd was better. There's a reason he's got the lowest win rate of all junglers, and he's ranked 40th in top lane. Now, of course, he is new, and these numbers are a little skewed because people are trying to learn him, but personally, I just don't think he's that strong of a champion, but of course, in before he's meta next week. More seriously though, I do think he needs some number changes. He could be an okay champion, but I just don't think he's there yet. Now, Kiddish would like to know what in-game settings I use in League of Legends. So in short, I run everything at max, and even though my computer is complete garbage, I still get at least 120 frames per second, even on max. Now, Nick the Archer asks how he calms down his little brother when he's playing League. He gets mad very quickly and then gives up every time, until of course they're winning again, and he can join for the win. So thank you for the question, but honestly, I have no idea what advice I can give you. I wish you could give me advice. I used to play League of Legends with a real-life friend who was, 27 at the time when we were playing League of Legends, and I guarantee you he was worse than your little brother. He would die once, rage, call everybody on his team a piece of shit, AFK, and ruin the whole game. I'd pretty much just say don't play ranked with him ever because you're just going to lose a lot of elo. I honestly don't know what to do about somebody that takes the game way too seriously and just throws games on purpose. If anybody actually has some constructive advice for Nick the Archer, please leave that in the comments so we can see that. So now Adnan Rahman would like to know if the following build would work on Jax. Ravenous Hydra into Rylai's Crystal Scepter, Trinity Force, Boots, Dead Man's Plate, and either an Omen or a Guardian Angel. So check out this picture here. This is what I called your build here, the weird Jax build. Now the crazy thing about Jax is he does make good use of both AD and AP, so this isn't the worst ever created Jax build. It could actually work, but it's definitely not optimal. Since you have such high damage with a normal build, and you have a stun, you don't really need the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, because you can honestly kill somebody in just that stun duration. But hell, if you're looking to try something new and have some fun, go for this build, why the hell not? Just, don't do it in ranked. Now, Albert Nordstrom wants to know if I can make a marksman guide, like how to trade, when to push, and etc. So these are types of guides I do want to start when I start my LOL school series. This will have all those sorts of things, like how to trade and push like you're saying, how to orb walk, how to gank, how to have good map awareness, all this sorts of things. So once that does become a thing, of course there will be these types of guides. Stay tuned. Now we have a multi-question from Not a Real Skull Blacka. First, do I watch LCS and LCK? If so, what is my favorite team? What is the weirdest build you know that actually works? And basically, do I neglect my social life or work for League of Legends? I do pay a lot of attention to LCS and LCK, but it's generally for purposes for this YouTube channel. I like to keep on top of what champions the pro teams are playing, because generally that relates somewhat to what people pick up in solo queue. As for favorite teams, believe it or not, I really don't have a preference. I'm not one of your typical North American Cloud9 or TSM fanboys at all, really. The weirdest build I know that actually works is AD Janna. I used to run this a lot back in the day, believe it or not. You do get the extra AD from your shield, and you actually put out some nice damage early on in trades. Of course, this is sure as hell not a top tier pick by a long shot, but you did ask for a build that does work, and this can work. As for spending too much time on League, I'm pretty confident in saying I probably do. And when you factor in YouTube time, which is kind of League time on top of it, hell yes I do. But I'm completely fine with it. I don't have like the craziest social life by a long shot, but I mean, of course I have a bunch of friends, I spend time outside of League and whatnot, so I'm not too worried about it. But I do enjoy spending most of my time doing League-related stuff. Hell, I am doing this video on my birthday after all, but it's just because I love you guys. Atizix now would like to know my name, and very simply, my name is Dan. Nothing crazy, rather simplistic. Now, Urios247 would like to know what I think the normal CS per minute is. Now this kind of depends, I suppose. A normal CS for a pro player would probably be about 10 CS per minute, but for a casual player or somebody in a lower elo, this is sure as hell not possible. For the average player that ranges from bronze to platinum, I would say the normal CS per minute would be somewhere around 6. So now AspenX would like to know my opinion on the upcoming patches, and for this one I'll do 6.18 since it's about to drop. So the big change here, of course, is the Yorick rework, and I'm kind of excited about that because Yorick is just like the worst champion in the game, and now he's hopefully going to be at least viable. Other than that, there's some much needed nerfs, some much needed buffs. I don't like some of them. I don't like Shen getting nerfed again, but it's just a typical patch after your Yorick. Next up, Etezdu wondering if he should play Riven or Fizz in top lane. Now honestly, both champions are fantastic. You can't really go wrong with either one, but if I have to give you one single champion, I guess I'll choose Riven. She did recently get a nice buff on her ultimate, which makes her just a little bit better than Fizz, I suppose. So now, Valeo Hristov asking basically how you get an S+ rank for every role. Now honestly, it basically just comes down to your KDA. This is also, from my understanding, based on the average KDA of other people that play the champion, so it's easier to get on some champions than others. If you were playing a champion who doesn't typically get a lot of kills, like say a Soraka or a Janna, like if you played either one of those as an AD carry and you just went nuts and got fed as shit and carried the game, an S+ would pretty much be a given because champions like that don't really ever get kills. But for your other typical champions, all you can really do is get kills and assists and not die. That's basically how it works. So now Nikola Kitanovsky would like me to say this word, and I've made this picture a bit bigger for anybody watching on mobile so they can know what word I'm actually trying to say. So if I was being your typical white North American person that's just saying how it looks, I would say Sancure. But being a Canadian that actually knows a little bit of French, this looks like a word you could actually say with like a French accent. So in that case, it would be Sancure, or if it had an accent aigu, it would be Sancure. Either way, I have no idea what this word even means, and I hope one of the pronunciations was correct. So now we've got a couple questions about streaming. We got Shini Kami inquiring about it, and 4473021 also asking about streams. So as of right now, my computer is garbage, and it's really hard for my computer to handle streaming, so I can't do it right now, but I am working on upgrading my computer as fast as possible, and when I can stream, it's gonna happen. Stay tuned. So up next, Santi Kirby 53 is wondering what I'm going to upload after I've covered every champion guide. So the thing about this is it's hard to actually get to this point because champions get changed all the time and my guides become outdated. If I ever get to this point, I'm going to still need to update these guides over and over again because sometimes they change stuff that affect multiple guides in one. One recent thing would have been the Ginsus. They nerfed Ginsus and champions that would rush it like Kog'Maw or Irelia or any of those champions. You know, I have guides for those champions and they're still obviously saying to rush the Ginsus, and that's not really what you want to do anymore. But I do have other projects I want to do. I want to get more into my champion skin reviews as well at some point. I need to do my LOL School series. I need to start streaming. I'm never going to run out of stuff to do. Now we got Fresh Gauntlet wondering if he should buy Victor or Vladimir. So up until 6.18, this would be insanely hard for me to actually answer because both are fantastic champions. In 6.18, however, Vladimir is receiving some substantial nerfs, so I would definitely say Victor now. Guy Sedai 1 would like to know when I am bored / have no passion of making videos, what do I do? So the first thing, of course, is to just straight up play some League of Legends. Keep my skill high, try to improve my mechanics, and get some nice gameplay for my videos. When I am, however, also bored of League of Legends, I'll play another random game on Steam, or I'll watch some anime, some sports, many other things. So next up, Deadpool and my channel are wondering what server I play on, but also if I can do normal gameplays. So short and sweet, unfortunately for my channel here, I do play on NA. I am Canadian, so of course I play on NA. As for normal gameplays, I did answer this earlier on, but I don't want to ignore that part of your question, of course. It will happen if I don't start streaming, but if it does, I will have the streams to show my normal gameplay, so that should be coming soon sometime. So, last question of the video, Fosty would like to know why the hell I don't have more subs, with a winky face. The only reasonable explanation I can come up for this is because I'm like Cedd. Straight garbage. But on a more serious note anyways, the channel is growing pretty nicely. I am pretty surprised at, how it actually is growing. I didn't think when I'd start I'd have, 10,000 subs in just a few months of actually becoming a serious YouTube channel. So if I do become large one day, that would be pretty cool. I of course am not making any videos that can become viral. It's like, holy shit, this Shaco gameplay guide is the greatest thing I've seen in my whole life. Share all over Facebook and shit. But I'll be more of one of those channels that grow slowly over time, which is completely fine with me. So yeah, that is officially all of the questions I saw, at least, on the last Q&A video, so I hope I didn't miss anything. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video as well. It was 18 minutes of me just talking and answering questions, but hopefully it was something you found entertaining. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and if you are new here, please subscribe as well. If you did enjoy the content, we have tons of League of Legends stuff to come. But thank you guys for all the support recently. We have officially hit 10,000 subs, which is an awesome number, and I do want to make a 10,000 sub special at some point soon, so look out for that. Lastly, before I forget to mention this in the video at all, if you guys do have any other questions you would like answered, please make sure you leave those in the comments. Peace.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're